I just assembled the cheapest 24-inch 7-speed red trike available on Amazon right now. And now I have to assemble another one. So a lady called me up out of the blue and she said, hey, I'm thinking about getting a tricycle and I hear you're the guy to talk about this. And I said, I don't like tricycles or adult tricycles. And I told her, I said, there's extra rolling resistance. They're just big and in the way. And, they're just a lot. They're not really that comfortable to ride. If you have a problem with balance, maybe, but turns feel super weird. But she said she really wanted to have a trike, but she didn't want to spend a lot of money. So she looked on Amazon and she basically found the cheapest adult trikes that you can find. You might be able to find cheaper ones, but they don't have the same features as the one that she was getting. Turns out she bought two, one for her and one for her husband. So that's how we are where we're at right now. Now, if you're wondering, I'm putting these together for them. I charge them $50 per trike. Now, a bike shop would charge, I'm saying, at least twice that. This is a pretty in-depth assembly. I don't value my time very much. I just like to do this and make a little bit of money on the side. So that's how we are where we're at right now. So right now, let's assemble this trike and see how it turns out. The biggest surprise for me for this trike was, this is not the trike that I'm building, but the biggest surprise, trikes are very, very big. I've assembled a few of them before, and I've assembled a lot of bikes, and when a bike comes, it comes in a very large box. But this trike comes in a not very large bike. It barely comes up above my knee. It's just not a lot there. I was very surprised. This whole box contains the frame, the rear end, all three wheels, everything is in this box. I'm going to do an unboxing and show you just how they fit everything in here. One thing to notice, this is boxed up very securely. It's not only strapped and taped, it's also stapled, and these flaps are glued down, so it takes a lot of doing to get into this box. When you first open the box, there's going to be this big piece of flat bubble wrap. And as we look down in the box, everything is bubble wrap. The last one I noticed has foam on the side, and behind that foam, you're going to find an assembly manual. It is very, very thorough, but we'll talk about that later. Everything in here, just like a regular bike, the frame and the wheels are zip tied together. Everything has either bubble wrap around it, or it's got this foam. It nearly takes as long to unwrap the entire bike as it does to assemble it. Unfortunately, I just tried to do a time lapse, and I think you just saw the piece of it. Me and my daughter unwrapped the whole bike, or the whole trike out of the box. You can see this is not a very big box for an entire trike to come in, but it was very well wrapped. This whole trash can is nothing but the wrappings from this bike. I see bike, it's a trike. The only two things that are going to be left in this kit when you're done, besides the trash, are going to be this. It's actually a bicycle axle that they use as a spreader to keep the frame from being bent during transport. And there's another one right here. One last box to be unwrapped. In the small box, they include 3 tools, a multi-tool wrench, which I'm not going to use to put this bike together, but it might be something neat to throw in your bag when you go for a bike ride. It comes with a chain tool, which is pretty impressive. It's not that great, but it's better than none, and you actually need it because, as you can see, the chain comes pre-broke. It also comes with this multi-wrench tool. It's got different Allen keys on one side, and it's got the bigger Allen key and the flathead and Phillips head on the other. Now, the kit has all the reflectors not installed, which is different. All those pieces of metal, I thought they were shims on the other bike that I assembled, but what you're going to learn is those actually are made to put the basket together. The derailleur, now this derailleur is different from the last kit. The last one was actually labeled a Shimano derailleur. This one is even cheaper than that one somehow. Decals, screws, and nuts. These are for the basket, and this is the derailleur cable, outer housing, pedals, axle caps. So that was all in that little box. Like I mentioned before, the tricycle came with an assembly manual. Now this assembly manual is very thorough. I think I read some complaints and reviews about it being hard to see, but that is not the case. They must have fixed it, because you can see very well all the steps. Now, if you know how to assemble a bike or a trike, you're really not going to need this, but for somebody who doesn't know, this is actually very, very thorough. Let me see, it's got 24 pages plus an addendum about the rear fender mounts, along with these are the rear fender supports. These are the pieces of the basket, chain guard, fenders, really, really cheap bottle cage. It's plastic. Handlebar assembly with stem, the trike rear end, the seat with the back, and the back is actually not bad. Sarah's holding one of the rear wheels, rear front, and this is the frame. Now the paint on these is actually very good, and I did notice that in transport this one did get a little scratch right there. But the next thing you'll know, we're going to be assembling this. Complete. Now, both of these trikes gave me a little bit of a hassle with some just small details. The front brake is a pain to get adjusted just right because it has no setting from the factory. So if you don't know anything about brakes, you're going to have to ask somebody. On this one, like I said, the rear derailleur on this one is not marked Shimano, but the one on the other one was. This bike, well, there was two bikes, same company, same page on Amazon. A blue one was ordered and a red one was ordered. One of them came from New Jersey and one of them came from Texas. The one from further away, which is Texas, actually came first. So these are a little bit different. They're generally the same. I didn't have to change anything. Both of them did come with only the exact amount of things, nothing left over, nothing extra. They both came with the same instructions, just basically different colors. I like the fact that it has caps to cover up the front and the rear axle nuts, so you can't scrape those up against anything. Like I said, the bottle cage is garbage. The basket is a pain in the butt to put together. The little seat back, it feels kind of nice, but it will bend. If you lean against it too hard, it will bend. The front stem, this thing needs to be cranked down real tight. Put a lot of torque on that to get it to not slip. Overall, it's a decent trike. I am not a trike guy. because they just take up so much room, and I would rather be on 2 wheels. But if you need to be on 3 wheels, I don't think this is a horrible deal for the money. But you got to consider, where am I going to put it? How am I going to keep it out of the weather? Things like that. So let's take it for a ride. So this is one of the cheapest trikes you can buy on Amazon, shipped to your door for free, under 350 bucks, closer to 300 actually. If you want to try a trike, it's probably the cheapest way to do it, unless you can find one used, but used ones usually have tons of problems. This is a pretty trike. The price was right. If you're not mechanically inclined though, I wouldn't take on this project. So, hope you've enjoyed this. Hope you've learned something. If you have any questions, please post them down below in the comments, and I will try to answer them, because I'm not famous yet. And I have time to do that. So, thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon.